or this morning, and after an overcast start to proceedings here today, the sun is now streaming down on the Rosehill course. The track, naturally enough, is very, very heavy, and the winner is probably going to run somewhere around the 1:14 mark. Now, the barrier stalls have been locked into position. They're going to run late because it requires around about a minute to advertise post time, and it'll be at least 3, I'd imagine, before they're off and running. A big crowd will try and check the attendance figure a little later. The national anthem being sung for the entertainment of the big crowd by that attractive young lady, and the police band, of course, provide the accompaniment as the runners prepare to move up for the $1.8 million and the 34th Golden Slipper Stakes. I well remember the first Golden Slipper in 1957 when £6,000 in prize money was distributed, and the horse that won that inaugural slipper, the great colt Todman, is still regarded by veteran racing men as the best of the Golden Slipper winners so far. High praise indeed when you look at the galaxy of stars that have been successful in subsequent years. Manicato, Luskin Star, some champion colts and fillies. Eskimo Prince was another tremendously impressive winner back in 1964. Now, Draw Card has the dubious honour of being the first into the starting stalls, moving into the number 1 gate. St Jude comes along next and faces up squarely. Here's the Western Australian filly Paklani, about to take up her position and wrap around another filly, one of 10 fillies in this year's slipper. Triscay moving forward, waiting on With Me, brilliant winner of the Brambles Classic. The Victorian filly Luso is going up towards the outside of the field. Now Ken Russell getting a lead up on Temperate King. Leslie Belden becomes the second lady to ride in the slipper. The honour belonged to Marie Linden 2 years ago when she rode the unplaced Celebrity Lover. Our Horizon to come up with Century Pike, and we wait on Orr Ranch. Ma Hassan some distance down the track at the moment with Canny Lad, Unspoken Word and Road Song. Canny Lad and Unspoken Word's colours are fairly similar from this distance. Now Canny Lad coming up to the 5 gates. Our Horizon about to edge up, and in the now world famous colours of Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid of Dubai, Ma Hassan goes up wide out, followed forward by Unspoken Word. Century Pike, Orr Ranch and Road Song to come up. Track is cleared in front for action, and they're within seconds of a start in the Tui's $1.8 million Golden Slipper. This is the 34th Golden Slipper Stakes. About set. A couple of the riders waiting for the starter or asking the starter to hold it for a moment. Now they steady. Line's good. Draw Card wanted to sit back a shade. Michael Clark trying to heel that filly forward in the stall. Gates open, they're away. Draw Card is a little bit tardy to begin. Towards the outside, beginning brilliantly is With Me, who's going straight to the lead over Paklani, and Our Horizon began brilliantly, followed by Unspoken Word. Luso is prominent soon after the start, and right up there with them Temperate King, and Wraparound is diving between horses. At the head of the others in the run to the first turn is Century Pike. Now back midfield then is Canny Lad. Triscay well back and trapped out very deep. Further back Ma Hassan, followed by St Jude, and back towards the tail of the field Faith in Marie, and Draw Card is absolute last as they come through the gap onto the course proper. 600 out. Our Horizon on the outside is just shading With Me in third place. Wraparound followed by Temperate King out wide, and then Road Song close enough if good enough. Paklani flat to the boards as they turn for home. Further back then is Canny Lad as they straighten up, followed by Orr Ranch, and Triscay is pushed right off the track on the corner into the straight. With Me and Our Horizon. With Me appears to be a narrow leader. In third place Paklani under the whip running on gamely, followed by Canny Lad, and further back Luso inside the 200 mark. With Me as the leader. Canny Lad getting through on the inside of the filly, and they're clear of Paklani. With Me just in front. Canny Lad, the colt, is driving through on the inside. He's coming home the better, and it's another Golden Slipper to Shane Dye. The Victorian Canny Lad draws away to beat With Me. Paklani third, fourth St Jude, and fifth is Draw Card. A big run. Close handy Triscay, followed by Orr Ranch, Unspoken Word, Our Horizon, and then Luso and Ma Hassan, Faith in Marie, Temperate King, well back Wraparound and Road Song, and Century Pike is last to finish in the Tui's Golden Slipper for 1990. The colt, the Victorian colt, Canny Lad, has given Shane Dye, in the space of 12 months of racing, 2 Golden Slippers and a Melbourne Cup. What a unique treble. 2 Golden Slippers and a Melbourne Cup to the one jockey within a period of 12 months. An astounding performance by this expatriate New Zealand rider who has taken Australian racing by storm since shifting to this part of the world some 6 years ago. Canny Lad, $6.80 and $3 as Ken Callender analyses the second replay.
Yes, John, With Me was in front there in the cerise colours. Down the outside's Paklani, but getting right along the rails was a horse Shane Dye said, if I'm near them, it'll be a no race, and it nearly was. The great Victorian colt, a son of Bletchingley, Canny Lad, just swamped them in the last 100 metres, and he grabbed With Me from Queensland, who finished second, and in third place was the favourite Paklani from Western Australia, who was ridden by Jim Cassidy. It was a great result, the Golden Slipper of 1990. Canny Lad, that's not him in the photo now, that's Johnny Marshall on Unspoken Word, the stablemate of Canny Lad, TAB number 3. They raced in very similar colours. It's With Me in the cerise, and we'll pan around in a minute and you'll see a very, very exuberant and happy Shane Dye. But that was the story of the Golden Slipper of 1990. We'll have a break now, and then we'll be back with more and more racing on the wide world of sports.
Of course, for the big race, the Tui's Golden Slipper run over 1,200 metres at Rosehill today. The correct numbers 1, 11 and 8. Canny Lad, Shane Dye said it would get there on Tuesday, and he's managed to put it through. $6.80 and $3. With Me was second, number 11, $3. And Paklani, the favourite, number 8, coming in third, $2.40. Kenny Callender has a tip for Sydney race 5. It's number 9, Star Maverick. And I think we have Kenny Callender with the winning connections at Rosehill. So let's cross to Kenny and hear what they have to say. Ken?
A run, Bruce, With Me.
Yeah, mighty run. I just think probably the other Queensland horse might have costed the race, just annoying her that bit, you know. And
Horizon.
Yeah, it just never left her alone, and she ran a great race.
Oh, mate, they took her on. What do you think she'd have done them on a dry track?
She'd have won.
Yeah, I'm sure she would have.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Ken.
You've certainly got an absolute A-grade filly.
Yeah, we ran fourth with the other one too, so it's not too bad.
You're still smiling. Not many losers smile, Bruce. Good boy.
Thanks, Ken.
That was...
Yeah, smile of a winner there with Kenny Callender. We'll be going back to Rosehill a little later in the afternoon. Let's find out what's happening in the Australian rules football at the...
Well, there we are. It doesn't take long for the winners to get their colours up in lights, as is tradition after the Golden Slipper. The colours of the winning horse, in this case Canny Lad, 1990 Golden Slipper winner. The colours are going on the jockey at the winning post, and that is a wonderful, wonderful moment for Canny Lad. And I tell you, who also very, very wonderful for one of our producers, Mr. Peter Guillon. Congratulations, Peter. I know you're over the moon about Canny Lad winning. He had a lot of money on it, and a lot else on it too.
Yeah, huge ramifications there in that one.
Sure is. I tell you what.
And I'll be there, putting on my top hat, tying up my white tie, dusting up my tails. And I'll be there, duding up my shirt front, putting in the shirt studs, polishing my nails. I'm stepping out, my dear, to breathe an atmosphere that simply reeks with class. And I trust you'll excuse my dust when I step on the gas. And I'll be there, putting down my top hat, mussing up my white tie.
Johnny Tap, Todd Tails, a very classy dude too, I think. I mean, he is a remarkable man of many talents, isn't he?
And he gets better after 10 o'clock at night, let me tell you.
Yes, well, we'll be going back to Tappy shortly, but now let's take a break. Down to the field parades around race number 5, and of course here's Johnny Tap looking very resplendent before in that top hat and tails. Did you have to hire them, Tappy?
Yes, I did, Max. I haven't settled yet either. So I hope I back a winner before the day's out, and I must confess, if you could see me now, I look a fair bit scruffier. Righto, Kenny, down to you, mate. There's about 4 to move in for the Verve Clico. Malcolm Johnston rides Alpine Fly. I hope he can get some consolation for his defeat on With Me in the Slipper.
Yes, John, although I hope I can get some consolation because I've backed Star Maverick. Here's the prices. Investor, $3.80, odds of 11 to 4. Alpine Flyer, 6.5 to 1. Digger Starker, 6 to 1. Autumn Dew, $3.80. Odds of 2.8 to 1, or it's in now to $3.60. That's 5 to 2. Generous Prince and Capillus are scratched. 10's Lucky Raz. Luskin Galaxy scratched. 11 to 4 Star Maverick. They're all pretty tight in this race. The betting is only 7 runners. 50 to 1 Bo Tereniga. They're about to jump. 1 more to go in. We got them in time, John. Over to you.
Good, Ken. Actually, you're in front of time because we still need a couple to move up. Autumn Dew and Lucky Rash In fact, they've really taken their time to get these horses in. There's a very old stager in the race, Digger Starkus, a 10-year-old who's having his 89th race start, but he's been a remarkable old gelding. Now they're about set, waiting for the starter to come over and dispatch the field for the Verve Cliquot, a field of only 7 now with 3 scratchings, and old Digger Starkus having his 89th race start. All set. Investor sitting back a little bit. Now they're right, gates open, they're off, and there's a perfect start. They came out as one, and Alpine Flyers going to lead. Autumn Dew jumped away quickly, and Investor settles third, followed by Beau Tyrannica. Star Maverick wants to go a bit hard early. Compton's trying to ease back in behind those horses. Lucky Rass is second last, and Digger Starkus last of the 7. There's not much pace on, and Alpine Flyer under a throttle hold just led Beau Tyrannica. Autumn Dew in third place, followed by Investor, and Star Maverick is trapped out 3 deep as they come through the gap onto the course proper. A couple of lengths away, Lucky Rass and Digger Starkus last of the 7. Towards the 600 mark now, and Beau Tyrannica under a good hold, led by more than a length to Star Maverick, who can't get on the track. Autumn Dew in the centre with Alpine Flyer on the fence, and 2 lengths away Investor, joined by Lucky Rass, and tailed off Digger Starkus. Into the straight, Beau Tyrannica. Autumn Dew got a beautiful run through in the middle as Star Maverick shifted ground on the turn. Investor's hard up against the inside rail, and Alpine Flyer held up for a run momentarily. Coming to the 200 mark, Autumn Dew headed Beau Tyrannica. Star Maverick is boxing on strongly, but now Marshall said go on Autumn Dew, drop them quickly. Autumn Dew shot clear, 150 out. He's got them well beaten. In second place, Beau Tyrannica. Lucky Rass is running home strongly. Autumn Dew holding them safely at bay as they get near home, and he's a very consistent horse. Autumn Dew won nicely over Lucky Rass. Third, Beau Tyrannica. Fourth, old Digger Starkus, followed by Star Maverick and Alpine Flyer, and Investor made a quick dash just after they turned for home, but weakened out of it to run last. Stand by for numbers. He's a very smart horse, Autumn Dew. Number 4, Autumn Dew, John Marshall, to pay $3.50 and $2.10. That's his first time on a very heavy track, and he handled it with no problems. Lucky Rass second, number 7, a place dividend of $4. And a 10 will get third, Beau Tyrannica, K. Moses. Insufficient starters for a third totes. And that was the action in the Verve Cliquot Stakes on Slipper Day at Rose Hill.
They're 4, 7 and 10. Autumn Dew, first time on a wet track, and he enjoyed it. $3.10 and $2.10. Lucky Rass, number 7, was second, $4, and Beau Tyrannica was third. Not enough runners there, so no third dividend. Kenny Calendar has another tip. It's for Sydney Race 6. It's number 9. It's Sideston, or Sideston. There you go, depending on which school you came from. Australian rules football format.
Thank you, Ken. Rose Hill, the venue where the sun is streaming down as they approach the gates for the $1.2 million BMW International, and this will be the third running of this Sydney Turf Club promotion. A race chock full of interest. Highland Chieftain seems like an old friend to Australian racing people. This is his third trip down under and his second attempt at this race. And talk about a cosmopolitan galloper. He's raced in 9 different countries and is the winner of 16 races. Mountain Kingdom from Great Britain has won only 6 races, but he's been rather sparingly raced, a very great stayer and a horse who loves rain-affected ground. Representing Argentina is Mike Willis's Savage Toss, who's won 6 out of 19 and in excess of $1 million in prize money. And on top of that, you've got a wonderful local contingent, including a couple of top 3-year-olds, Interstellar and Dr. Grace. And Interstellar, Ken, is one horse suited by the soft ground.
He certainly is, John. He'll be steaming home down the outside. Whether he's good enough, well, only time will tell. Let's have a look at these prices. Number 1, Highland Chieftain, one of the overseas horses. The local punters don't want to have anything to do with the imports. He's at 30 to 1. Flying Luskin from New Zealand, a dead set 2-miler by Luskin Star, which is a surprising breeding trend from a brilliant 2-year-old Luskin Star soaring a 2-mile winner, Flying Luskin, who's at 40 to 1 for the BMW. Mountain Kingdom, the shortest of the internationals in the betting ring. He's at 12 to 1. He'll be ridden by Larry Elson. He finished third in an easier race here last week. Superimposed was scratched because of the heavy track. Lord Highbrow, he's a swimmer, but better known in handicaps than weight for age. He's at 14 to 1. Horlicks, the champion New Zealand mare, a short-priced favourite. $2.70 now, which is closer to 13 to 8 than 7 to 4. That's $1.70 profit for each dollar invested. Better Loosen Up is at 5 to 1, ridden by Michael Clark and carrying the hopes of the Colin Hayes stable. 66, the Argentinian mare, Savage Toss. Sedestin, I like him. I think he'll be steaming home strongly. I've got my cash on Sedestin and Mick Dittman. He's showing odds of just over 4 to 1, $5.20. King's High at 33 to 1, second stringer from the Hayes stable. Interstellar, the horse John spoke to you about, he's in now from 12s into 10s. Strong staying 3-year-old, he's got a chance. He won the Canterbury Guineas. Dr. Grace, the other 3-year-old, to be ridden by Jimmy Cassidy, $7.40 for a dollar. Odds of close enough to 6.5 to 1 or 13 to 2. I'm on Sedestin, and to call him the winner, I hope, Johnny Tapp.
Righto, Ken, good luck. Yes, I agree. His Sedgenho Stakes run was indicative that he's very near a win in one of these big races, Sedestin. As well as an Australia-wide television and satellite coverage, the BMW International is also being beamed by satellite to the famous European network Eurosport, to some 22 countries and an estimated audience of 80 million people. And that news comes from David Hill, my old boss, former director of sport on the 9 network here in Australia and now with Sky Channel in London. The appearance of the 2 English horses and the Argentinian champion Savage Toss has certainly attracted attention worldwide. Now the barrier stalls are ready and the runners are about to be called up for a start, and Dr. Grace, one of the 3-year-olds, is coming up close to the stalls and could well be the first in or one of the first up. King's High is up near the stalls with Savage Toss in the all pink and Horlicks moving around behind the line. Actually, there's no serious effort being made yet to place these runners in. The weather in Sydney has cleared dramatically. As late as Thursday night, grave fears were held for this meeting as the rain continued to fall. In fact, the Rosehill course absorbed about 120 millimetres in the space of 4 days, but has made a remarkable recovery. Helicopters were brought in late yesterday afternoon to help dry out 1 or 2 bad sections of track, and apparently that worked perfectly. And even though the track is extremely heavy, it's uniformly heavy. Now, thanks to my communications, I can hear a mechanical sound in the background there. That's probably the motor, the tractor engine ticking away over there. The tractor, or the heavy vehicle, the Leyland heavy vehicle, has to pull those gates out of the way as soon as they jump away, because the horses then come past that point again after travelling a full circuit. Now Better Loosen Up to come up, and also Lord Highbrow, and they'll be set and ready to run. The others appear to be all in there and facing well. Lord Highbrow, the veteran of the field, a rising 9-year-old, getting ready for another tilt at the Sydney Cup in a couple of weeks' time, has moved up on the outside of the field. The Cosmopolitan horse, Highland Chieftain, who's raced in 9 countries, faces up well for Wayne Harris. Sidderston stands nicely. So does Flying Luskin, Interstellar, Dr. Grace. Stalls open, they're off in the BMW International. Horlicks on the outside began well, but O'Sullivan immediately restrained the mare, and he's going to drop in behind the leaders. Flying Luskin is the early leader, but nobody's keen to be in front, and soon after the Argentinian Savage Toss pulled his way to a narrow lead over King's High. Flying Luskin third, Dr. Grace fourth, followed by Mountain Kingdom. Highland Chieftain in on the fence, wants to go a bit keenly early, and then Sidderston and Lord Highbrow, followed by Better Loosen Up, and Horlicks, and Interstellar has dropped out last as they go past the judge the first time. On the turn out of the straight, and Ron Quinton had Savage Toss, a clear-cut leader, by a length and a half to King's High on the outside of Flying Luskin. Dr. Grace now being allowed to stride up 3 deep by Cassidy at the 1800 mark. 2 lengths away is Mountain Kingdom, followed by Lord Highbrow. Highland Chieftain midfield on the inside of Sidderston. A bit more than a length to Better Loosen Up, followed by Horlicks, and 2.5 lengths away last is Interstellar. At the 1600 mark as they make their way to the back, and Dr. Grace is a new leader. Dr. Grace in front now. Flying Luskin in second spot, and Savage Toss is now racing 3 deep as they go down the back. A length further back in the field, Mountain Kingdom, followed by Lord Highbrow and King's High. 2 lengths to Highland Chieftain on the inside of Sidderston, about 2 to Better Loosen Up, 2.5 to Horlicks, and a length and a half away last is Interstellar as they go down the back towards the 1200 metres mark, and one of the 3-year-olds, Dr. Grace, is the leader. Dr. Grace by nearly a length on Savage Toss and Flying Luskin. Lord Highbrow followed by Mountain Kingdom. King's High is within striking long distance of the leaders. Highland Chieftain hasn't left the fence so far. And then Citizen followed by Better Loosen Up and Horlicks, who's joined on the outside by Interstellar. On the top turn at the 900 mark, and Dr. Grace led narrowly from Savage Toss, and Lord Highbrow going up to make a line of 3. Flying Luskin on the fence behind those leaders, followed by King's High as they go past the 800 mark. Further back then is Highland Chieftain on the inside of Citizen, followed by Better Loosen Up, who's about to take off. Interstellar second last, and Horlicks on the fence as last as they near the turn. She'll have to do something sensational to win. Up to the bend, 500 out. Dr. Grace just led Savage Toss and Lord Highbrow. Mountain Kingdom behind those. Flying Luskin under pressure. Right around the outside, King's High and Better Loosen Up is widest of all on the turn into the straights. And Horlicks behind a wall of horses as they turn the corner. In the straight, 300 out. Dr. Grace tackled left, right and centre by Savage Toss and Lord Highbrow. His Citizen bursting through, and further out King's High and Better Loosen Up, but Citizen burst to the lead. 150 out. Mick Dittman goes for home in the BMW, and Citizen is leaving them in the last little bit. He's racing right away and he's going to bolt in. Citizen wins the BMW over Lord Highbrow. Third's close, Mountain Kingdom and Horlicks wide out, and then Dr. Grace, who weakened in the last bit, followed by Better Loosen Up, King's High. Further back is Savage Toss, and then Flying Luskin, Highland Chieftain, and tailed right off is Interstellar. The winner is Citizen, beautifully ridden by Mick Dittman, who got a lucky split between the leaders. Coming to the 200 mark, Citizen burst to the lead and left them standing and raced away to win as he liked. Number 9, Citizen, Mick Dittman, to pay tote odds of $5.40 and $1.50. Second will be number 5, Lord Highbrow, a place dividend of $3.50. Third's very close, Mountain Kingdom, $3.10, or Horlicks, number 6, a place dividend of $1.60. Ken.
Yes, John, I back Citizen, and if you're on him, all he needed in the race was the run, because he was absolutely bolting. I don't think I've seen a horse on a heavy track in a long-distance race going better than this fellow was. There he is with Mick Dittman leading him back, and it was an absolutely first-class win. Citizen is trained in Victoria by Bob Hoisted. I see Bob coming straight down now, and I'll just congratulate him, and we'll catch him on the wide world of sports before he goes to welcome his jockey. I'm just trying to grab him. The man's walking away. Excuse me, please, fellas. Congratulations, Bob. Excuse me, Bob. Congratulations.
Thank you.
One of the nicest men in racing, Bob Hoisted. He won a golden slipper with Manikato. Now you come back to take your brother trained him at the time.
Brother Bond, yeah.
That's right, but you trained him in all these other great wins after that.
Great thrill, Ken, to win that one. Lovely.
Bob, did you realise this horse was good enough to win at weight for age before his present campaign?
Well, I didn't think he'd make weight for age till next spring, Ken, but this preparation, he's just kept improving, and I just thrilled with the horse.
God bless you, Bob. Marvellous win. Bob Hoisted, the trainer of Citizen, and that's all for the moment on the wide world of sports.
Yes, I'll keep on. That Kenny Callender is smiling all the way to the bank. Yes, the correct numbers 9, 5 and 6. Citizen $5.40 and $1.50. Lord Highbrow was second, $3.50, and Horlicks finally made it home in a photo, $1.60 it was. Kenny Callender has another tip, one a week and back in this time. It's Magic Gleam, number 6 in race 7. Good luck to punters.
To Rose Hill for race 7, the Diners Club Cup, 1,500 metres the journey. Very interesting race from a Doncaster viewpoint. And there's no more interesting runner than the 3-year-old Shaftesbury Avenue, who 3 weeks ago ran second in the Canterbury Guineas, and it was originally intended to give him a Derby preparation. But midstream, Bart Cummings changed his mind and elected to switch Shaftesbury Avenue back to the Doncaster. So here he is back in a 1,500 metre race, and he'd certainly need to win this or go very close to win the Doncaster. There's only one question mark, Ken. He's never been on a heavy track before.
Yes, John, and it worries me a little that both Shaftesbury Avenue and our Poverty Bay, the two main hopes in the betting, have both had recent setbacks. And, you know, they're all trying to get ready for the same races at Easter. Like the next Saturday, they're both running in the Doncaster. And that setback last week mightn't have done them any good. Still, they're both good horses, and we'll see how they go. Punters certainly like them. Let's look at the prices. Number 1, Tierra Rist, is at 25 to 1 now. Number 2, Prince of incidentally, Tierra Rist has had a jockey change. Jim Cassidy's become indisposed after riding Dr. Grace in the BMW International, and Tierra Rist will now be ridden by Darren Beedman. If you're on him, he's at 25 to 1. Prince Trayalia at 7 to 1. Wong was scratched this morning. Spot the Rock, Shane Dye's mount, is at 11 to 1. Doesn't usually like heavy going. Dawn Success at 16 to 1. An English horse ridden by Peter Cook. Now, I've got my money on Magic Gleam. I'm trying to get a lot for a little. TAB number 6, it's into 12 to 1 now. I can assure you that wasn't my money. He's ridden by Lance O'Sullivan. He'll like the heavy track. He's got a chance at those odds. Shaftesbury Avenue on the tote. TAB number 7 is now into almost 9 to 2, $5.70. Number 8, Our Poverty Bay, has come into 7 to 2, odds of $4.60. They're the two favoured runners. Shaftesbury Avenue Marshall, Our Poverty Bay Moses. High God is at 20 to 1. Liverstone Lane, TAB number 10, is at 14 to 1. Seems good odds. Select Princess is scratching. 40 Swiftly Carson. Irish Clipper, well in the market at 9 to 1, out to 10 to 1. Windsor's Pal is now into 33 to 1. 50 to 1 Royal Reel. 16 Gallery Star. He'll be steaming home. Judor is a 40 to 1 chance. And the bottom one, Liftwell from Canberra, is now into 14 to 1. They're the prices on race 7. You'll see it live in about 90 seconds on the Wide World of Sports. Here's Johnny to call it.
Good, Ken. Michael Clark, the champion Victorian jockey, is on High God in the race. Michael had little luck in the Golden Slipper and the BMW, finishing unplaced on Draw Card and Better Loosen Up, respectively. Although Draw Card's run in the Slipper was a beauty. She paid the penalty of being drawn in the number 1 gate. She got into the squeeze box, was pushed back to last and really motored home at the end. She certainly looms as one of the big chances in the Sire's Produce Stakes at Randwick on Monday week over the 1400 on the bigger track. Now we want Royal Reel and Spot the Rock, 2 grey horses. They're putting a blindfold on Spot the Rock, I notice. You can see there in the foreground, or there's a close one now of Darren Beedman in the purple and pale green colours, riding the top weight Tierra Wrist. One of Sydney's best young riders, Darren Beedman. He was yet another one of the brilliant apprentices produced by Theo Green, who retired as a trainer just a couple of years back. Now there's Spot the Rock going in the blue and white halves with the red cap. Looking further down the line in 2 blues, you can see Peter Cook on Dawn Success, the English galloper. There's one popping in there in the pink and purple. That's Swiftly Carson, Ron Quinton's mount. Now, what's that one? That's Windsor's Pal just going into line, so they must be getting pretty close to a start. Now, Dieu d'Or and Gallery Star to move up, and they'll be set for a start in the Diners Club Cup. Starter Billy Dale just checking that certain horses are okay in the stalls. And again, our camera looks down the line as the horses stand up on their toes, ready for a start. Last couple have moved in and they're about set. The stalls open, they're away in the Diners Club. A pretty good start, a little bit slow. Spot the Rock and Prince Trialia. About the first out is High God. Shaftesbury Avenue began well, and so did Tierra Wrist and Our Poverty Bay, followed by Swiftly Carson. Liverstone Lane up in that leading division when they get going, and then Irish Clipper, who can't get on the track, followed by Windsor's Pal, Spot the Rock, Prince Trialia. Dieu d'Or is trapped out deep, and further back then Magic Gleam, followed by Royal Reel. Second last being Dawn Success, and Gallery Star dropped out last, and Liftwell in front of about 4 to the first turn at the 900 mark, and High God the leader over Irish Clipper. Tierra Wrist, Our Poverty Bay out deep, even wider Dieu d'Or, and then Liverstone Lane and Shaftesbury Avenue about 4 deep as Windsor's Pal at the 800 mark. Royal Reel is trapped off the track, and further back Liftwell, followed by Swiftly Carson. Spot the Rock is awkwardly placed, and back with him as Gallery Star. Second last being Prince Trialia. Dawn Success went back to be last, and back with the tail enders Magic Gleam to the turn, 500 metres out, and Our Poverty Bay swept to the lead from High God. In third place Irish Clipper, followed by Dieu d'Or, Liverstone Lane, and then Tierra Wrist and Shaftesbury Avenue, giving them a big start as they turn for home. Straightening up, and Our Poverty Bay has burst away from them. Our Poverty Bay led by 3 lengths on Irish Clipper, followed by Liverstone Lane. Windsor's Pal on the outside has run into second place, and he's coming home hard, but he's really chasing something in Our Poverty Bay, who's well clear on the outside. Windsor's Pal is starting to pick the leader up. Our Poverty Bay getting anchored in the heavy going, and Windsor's Pal has raced to him on the outside. Windsor's Pal takes the lead and comes away to beat Our Poverty Bay, who seemed to get bogged down in the going. In third place Liverstone Lane, followed by Magic Gleam, Irish Clipper, Prince Trialia, Shaftesbury Avenue, and then High God and Spot the Rock, Dawn Success, Dieu d'Or, Liftwell, Gallery Star, Tierra Wrist. Well back being Swiftly Carson and Old Royal Reel last. Stand by for numbers. Race 7, Our Poverty Bay looked home, but he got right into the fence and just seemed to bog down. And Windsor's Pal, 4 or 5 horses away from the fence, has swamped him in the last 50 metres. 14, Windsor's Pal, Billy Sorensen, to pay $38 and $8.30. Our Poverty Bay, number 8 second, to pay $2.10. And number 10 third, Liverstone Lane, a place dividend of $4.90. That's the action from Rose Hill on Slipper Day. Please join us next Saturday when we go to Randwick, the highlights being the Doncaster and the AJC Derby on Wide World of Sports.